To the CEO Talk Pune. This is an initiative by the Talk. My name is Muthu and I am the brand owner of Crumbles and I'll be the moderator of today's session. I make yummy, nutritious cookies and this event is brought to you by the Tata Telebusiness Services. The Talk offers a powerful platform for collaboration between businesses and offer powerful and meaningful business relationships. Now, Tata Telebusiness Services also offers a wide range of services starting from connectivity, collaboration, cloud, security, IoT, and marketing services. And they're also the country's leading provider of ICT solutions for the businesses in India. Now, I would like to start today's session by introducing the lovely panelists who have joined us here today. And I know this is a virtual session, but let us give a good round of applause as I introduce each and everyone's name so that we have a good energy flowing inside the room. So I would like to start by introducing Mr. Prashant Darpure, MD and CEO, Bandhan Agritech Private Limited. Welcome, sir. Very happy to have you here. We also have Mr. Vikas Kumar, co-founder and CTO, Lone Star Financial Solutions. Thank you, sir. Very, very happy to have you here. We have Mr. Vivek Mahajan, founder and CEO of Agni Group, India Group. Welcome, sir. Very happy to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you.
We also have Mr. Akash. Thank you. We also have Mr. Akash Joshi, founder and director, IMAS Operations Private Limited. Welcome, Mr. Joshi. Very happy to have you here. We also have Mr. Abhishek Kumar, founder and CEO, Venture Care. Welcome, Mr. Abhishek. Very, very happy to have you on. And at this juncture, it is also my deep privilege in inviting Mr. Rudra Mishra, Head Regional Marketing Operations, West Zone, Tata Telebusiness Services. Very, very happy to have you here, Mr. Rudra. And I would also like to pass on the floor. Thank you, sir. And I would like to pass on the floor to you for a brief welcome note for today's session. Over to you.
So broadly, as I said while I was introducing myself, the situation, the times, the level of challenges are way beyond as to what we certainly think right now. We are not yet sure as of today that when the situation of current pandemic would subside or would come down. Having said that, I think so. One very important message that comes across in these times of adversity is that we need to be resilient. We need to keep our heads high. We need to face the challenge and probably look at ways and means to overcome. 3-4 things that I feel while I set the context for this discussion is mainly that let us look at the SME portfolio in the country, right? So what are the key challenges that lie ahead of the SMEs right now? One very, very important challenge for an SME is to get finance, liquidity, as I say. And trust me, liquidity is in a very, very tough situation right now. We all know that demand side is almost down for all the SMEs. Supply side, to a certain extent, has been impacted, but demand, of course, has gone down drastically.
Sir, are you with us?
That is a double-edged sword, right? So it can help you to win the game, and if you don't use it, it may impact you in not staying ahead of the curve. So getting the right framework, getting the right approach to technology is very important. And as I feel that in the current scenario, the technology adoption has increased substantially, but there is a lot of scope for improvement in that segment. SMEs probably need to understand that there are a host of technologies that are available that help them drive productivity, stay ahead of the curve in the current pandemic scenario. That is the second part. Third part that I feel is something that comes across the SMEs is they need to be very clear at this moment that if they want to stay ahead of their competitors, they need to be present in the customer's consideration set. When I say customer's consideration set, they need to market themselves well, something to which the SMEs usually are not accustomed to because they mainly believe that they are in a B2B business, hence marketing may not be that relevant. So the point is that they need to market themselves well so that they can stay ahead of the curve. Having said that, there are a host of technology solutions that are available which helps them to stay ahead of what they are doing right now. The fourth and the fourth and a very important point that I feel is SMEs at this moment are also requiring a lot of support from the government. And government is also helping them by easing out certain rules and regulations with respect to liquidity. So while this remains a case in point, I feel the help will come in terms of availability of money, both can be in terms of loan or liquidity or the way they want to do it. But certainly some help would be required by the entire sector to boost because SME contributes to around 30% of our GDP and it employs around 30 to 40%. It's one of the largest employment generators. So we have to look at SME as a very, very important sector and then further segment it as to the sectors that have been impacted badly by the current pandemic. The way forward for SMEs, I feel, would be need to look at something in terms of going ahead to the curve where US is at present or where the developed nations are. And this journey can be traversed by using technology. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Mishra, for that opening note. And without any further ado, let's quickly jump on to today's panel discussion round. As I already briefed you, let me quickly give you a small run through. So this is going to be a full-on panel discussion. I have a set of questions with you, and I would love to understand the perspectives of each and every one of you for those questions. The theme of today's discussion is going to be Reset to Grow with Tech Advantage. So we are going to discuss about how the technology has helped in growing the businesses, especially during the tough times like the pandemic. And also, as I told you before, this is a time-bound session. So kindly have your thoughts and the answers very crisp and precise to the point. Do not take a lot of time. So yes, let's quickly jump on to the first round of today's panel discussion. Kindly do not take more than 90 seconds for your responses. And last year, the same time, when the nation went to the first lockdown for the first time, so we all said to ourselves that, hey, all this is going to get over by August. So that's how we said to ourselves and pacified ourselves. But August went by, the new year came in, and again, it's been 1 year since the COVID struck us. And I don't think so there is any scope of improvement anytime sooner. The situation is still worse, but one thing that has not been changed is the very change itself, right? So everything around us is completely changed. The way we used to walk, the way we used to, our lifestyle has been completely changed. So is our business, right? So the first question for today's panel discussion round, it is going to be, the business is changing. How is your business responding to the change? So this will be my first question. Kindly remember to not take more than 90 seconds. I'd like to start with Mr. Vivek. Over to you.
Yeah, hi. I get your point. we at Agni India also, what we have done is we have adopted the technology immediately. For our electrical two-wheelers, we are going in for fast charging stations, which is the need of the hour right now, because a lot of people have got range anxiety, and they are not able to charge it at home, and they are not able to their commute is limited. So that is where we are coming up with the technology only, bringing in a charging station which could charge to your two-wheelers is within 12 minutes, and three and four-wheelers is within 30 minutes. So that is one change what we are doing. Is another change we are using the technology in our software based company, which is where we are using it for Phillip Capital. So it's a share marketing company wherein people used to lose a lot of money in the share market. So we have created a technology based software which could help the customers directly operate their own accounts, and they don't have to depend on the brokers now. So these are the two technologies which we are working on these, and then it is paying off very well to the customers also.
Thank you, Mr. Vivek. And over to Mr. Akash. Akash, kindly unmute yourself.
Yeah, extremely sorry. So, so a lot of things, in pursuit of technology have been changed in our organization. If you talk about our organizations, and, we have to, visit a lot of clients at their places and have to explain them the services and technology or the things which we provide. So the drastic change which we, and after also the progress reports and review reports have to be, done at client premises, and have to go and make them convince around the things around what is the developments and so on and so forth. So what happened post COVID is we don't have to move on. So, clients are happy with, virtual conferences. So we have to review virtually. We have to, so it's a lot of time which is getting saved as of now for us. So that is a big value addition, because when you talk about a service industry, because we are into a service industry, so it time is everything here. The man hours time is everything here, because we don't have machines and everything. So that's the time saving which is there. Now, if I talk about my client per se, so things are rapidly changing. We have been I have been in my business now for more than 12 years. And last 3 years, approximately last 3 years, how technology has changed the entire distribution sales vertical is just because people do not ask for loyalty solutions, people do not ask for Salesforce automation softwares, people do not ask for distribution management things, people do not know loyalty technologies and all that. And now when we pitch them, we don't have to explain them, they already know it. So it's a big change, and it's a change we have saw very clearly in the time being there. So this is what stayed me.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Akash. Yeah. Over to Mr. Abhishek. Abhishek, kindly unmute yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Muthu. Yeah. So coming to your question, basically at VentureCare, we initially used to say that we are an online business solution company. So in the time of pandemic, that helps initially a lot to us, so that we can basically manage our operations, marketing, sales, everything online. And the solutions that we will provide to our clients, mostly the feasibility report and the business plan, financial models. So in that course, basically we incorporate that how your company is going to basically survive with with these sort of things. So where you could have what sort of operational strategy, operational plan, or personal planning you should have basically, and what sort of technologies basically you are using or you can use, so that you can basically, your entire team can basically work remotely, and you can also keep an eye on your productions and everywhere remotely. So yeah, so this is somewhere basically we understand that technology is something that helps a lot, and that had helped us a lot, and we recommend various technologies to our clients as well. And it's all as Mr. Rudra said, that it's not, technology is everywhere, we just have to basically adopt that, right? So people fear to adopt, people fear to basically change. They are basically have got some sort of comfort zone, where basically we push our client as well that you should get out of the comfort zone. Technology is cheaper, basically you can get various free technologies as well that basically supports you initially, and when you grow up you can basically get their paid opportunities. So whether this sort of pandemic comes or not, I think a business should have to be prepared for all sort of situations. So being an online business social company had helped us to, with the no marks, even we found a good growth in our business as well in pandemic as well. Being an online business solution company, just like another Amazon or other companies.
All
So,
right.
conclusion note, I think anyone who is planning any sort of business, they should have to leverage the technology, because that is only thing that can basically give an unfair advantage over your competitions. And as Mudra said, you should have to keep experiments with new technologies, new things that basically coming to, and it should be
Okay.
ready for adoption.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Abhishek. Let me quickly ask Mr. Vikas. I can have your perspective. So Vikas, please unmute
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah. So, so basically, so we at Loan Tap, we basically give personal loans, and you know, uh, when pandemic hit, suddenly we were most probably the most affected. With in between, we almost went to disbursements went down to zero, because obviously nobody was lending us money to further on lend. Plus the profiles had got very risky, because you are not sure who's leaving, losing a job, or who will stay where, how long will it continue. So I think, so at some point we were almost, doing no revenue, or no setting up no new loans, just managing up a current portfolio. So now in the last 3-4 months, we are now starting to, get back. And so we have to reset everything. And I think the biggest challenge which we are facing most probably is the mindset. Uh, People have got so used to, sort of not working, or people get so used to in that one mindset to jerk people out and, get back to the shape you were, let's say 1 year ago. It's not very easy. So it's like an engine. When it stops, it takes a lot of time to start. So resetting, growth, and pandemic is still not ended. Today suddenly Goa has announced a lockdown, and so every day our collections is suffering because we are not able to collect physically. So overall, resetting growth will be a big challenge, at least in our area. How do you get the customers to, so how do you build credibility, and believe in the customers that they are genuine, because a lot of fraud has happened during the last 1 year. How do you get your internal team to sort of go back and start again becoming aggressive when they
All right.
will even be disbursing again or not again? So it's a complex scenario, and
All right.
I think we'll have to look back, how do we reset again?
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Vikas. And finally, let me quickly ask Mr. Prashant, and end this round. Over to you.
Hi. Hello.
Yes, Mr. Prashant, please proceed.
Yeah, we are from agriculture industry. We are into the international business, exports and agri-input segment. So if you ask me the differentiations with regards to pre-COVID and post-COVID about the technological implementation in agriculture. So earlier it was I can say we can say it's for us it's secondary, but from last 15 months, I would say it is of the utmost importance, because thanks to the technology, that means we are doing our business. Because from last 15 months, it is not possible for every one of us to go and to do all these things physically. So right from the in case of agriculture exports, so we are having the direct contracts with the farmer. We have our own team, and each and everything actually that we have to manage by our own the admin team who is sitting at this office. So at this moment, if the implementation of the technology, it would not be then it's a difficult for us. Now, with regards to the proper implementation, like Mr. Rudra said, there is a scope to use the technology, but it is depend on us how to use the optimal things, right? So earlier it was with us that we need to want to use this thing, but we are not. It's the part of the differentiation that whether to use this method or not, we have that kind of limitation. But now at
Okay.
this moment, it is, the thing is that because of this technological implementation, that we are successful in our business, and maybe we will use this all these things in the longer way also.
All right.
So
Thank you, Mr. Prashant. And yes, with that we come to the closure of round one, Baron. I did hear a lot of difference in opinions with a lot of the panelists. Now, for example, let me talk about Mr. Akash, who really had a good time. Who wasn't really affected that much due to COVID. But on the flip side, I have Mr. Vikas here, who really got hit pretty bad because of the financial sectors in the business. So outside, from the outside, what I would like to conclude is, see, the industry specific is playing a major role in the, how effective this COVID has been. And especially for a manufacturing sector, this COVID has really been a curse. But talking about the other side, when we're talking about the technology, this COVID has brought in, opened the doors for a lot of technology adoptions, and to a lot of different work styles, mainly work from home or remote working, right? So before this pandemic, there had been a huge debate about how this the work from home or the remote working is going to work, or how effective it is going to be, especially for an Indian market. Every time we still are facing a challenge when we open a meeting inside the house. That's when we hear our kids shout or our wives calling from the other room. So these are some of the little challenges. But talking about the business aspect, I would love to understand from your panelists, what were some of the biggest challenges while adopting the remote working culture with regards to your business? I would like to start again with Mr. Vivek. Over to you.
So initially, we were not ready. So Zoom, Google Meet, these were all new things for us. And at my age, you can see we have never seen all these kind of stuff. But going with the time changes, everything changes. So what we have done is we have started giving the trainings to our people who are remotely placed, and tried them to and explain them how they can come on the meetings, and then we can discuss about the entire stuff. So this has happened because we could adapt these kind of technologies into our system. So as somebody said from the panel, that adaptation is very, very important. Execution is very important. Only that there could be so many technologies coming in, but which should help us is to be adapted and is to be experienced soon. So that is what my funda is. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Vivek. And as he rightly said, training of the employees has been of a great challenge, especially making a layman understand about the tech savvy, or how to make him understand the technology has been
That's a tough time. That's a tough time.
Definitely. Thank you, Mr. Mahajan. Let me quickly pull in Abhishek at this juncture. Over to you. Speakers, kindly unmute yourself when it is your turn. Until then, you can be on mute. Yes,
Yeah.
Abhishek.
Thank you, Sontu. Basically, we had almost all our sales and mostly operational part on the online things, but we used to work as a team in the same office. And when we parted at our home, so it was basically difficult to basically share small things, small discussions, short talks, and everything. But it was not that much challenging. The challenging thing was that government had announced that the lockdown is going to for 6 months or 3 months. They keep this extending. So accordingly, we had planned something. Then again, it's got extended. Again, we replan. So this was a challenging things. And since we already used to have technology in operations and in sales and marketing as well. So it wasn't a very, very tough things at that side.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Akash. Let me quickly pull in Mr. Akash at this juncture.
Yeah. So the question seems it's a big challenge. It's one of the biggest challenge which we had, in making team work from home. See, because we have a team which are spread across 4 different, locations, and we had a very large kind of, a multi-skill people. There are a lot of skill variations. We have coders, we have client, representatives, we have designers, we have data centers, the data executives, there's a lot of kind of, different variety of people we have. So, in our organization, every third or fourth person have a different, skill set now. And the most important thing is data. It's a lot of data of client is there with us, and all of those data is a very crucial data. And the data, when it is on our premises, so we have, all systems, it's highly secured. But now when people are working from home, we have to give, so it's a lot of skill set which we have to manage from home. That's the first challenge. Second, and then the data security part. So humko 2 mahina to, we have just brainstormed, how to secure our data when people are working at home. So biggest challenge. We are just, gone off heads for it. Some of our IT team found a solution for all those things. And the third most important challenge is, after all this thing, our client have got active, because see, at the time of pandemic, all people are working from home. All right, all clients are working from home. We are into channel sales technology, so no sales is happening. So all sales people are at home. So what is to be done? Just, get the technology implemented, get the loyalty program implemented, get the retailer register, get the mechanics register, get the influencer register, and it's a whole load of work is coming to us. So we have to perform with more efficiency in the time when we are already in a headache of, managing skill sets of the people. So wo fir 3 or 4 months, then it is gone. We have got some technology expertise from a lot of people who are already, pro in working like that, and then learning comes with an experience. So ho gaya. So, and then, we now it is helping us a lot. So now it is, half of team is already working from home. So we are like, chill, okay, we can handle this challenge now. But so it's just a joke part, because things are not good outside. I know very well. My cousins are also then hospitalized. So, but see, this is life. We have to deal with it. So now it is fine. So it's just the 3 main challenge: working multi-skill people, working clients who want us to overburden this pandemic time, and third is data security point. And we, with experience and things, we got over it.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Akash. And I think he has touched upon this data security, which has been of great importance like never before.
Yeah.
Cyber security is of being the need of the hour for a lot of SMEs. We'll be touching upon over those points very soon.
Yes.
And we are just looking right now on how what are the challenges faced by the businesses with regards to enabling the remote working. Let me quickly ask Mr. Prashant at this juncture. Over to you, Mr. Prashant.
Yes, sir. Now, with regards to the challenges, if you wanted to ask us, in our sector, in our industry, especially agriculture industry, the people are not that much tech savvy, right? So we need to taught them each and everything. So this is the first of all, we need to tell them that which things need to adopt and which not to. What is the long-term usage for them? What should be the future of it? So this is the first things that the challenges what we got. We need to convince to our team that this is we are using, it's for our own betterment. Second thing is that for every instance means as you said that for these remote areas, so we have got the challenges with regards to the connectivity, with regards to other things, and for our export business, for the operations ends, maybe we have the office at different locations, but it is not possible for us to monitor each and everything from that end. But now at this moment, it is a hard work, and especially with regards to the our admin team. So thanks to them. But because of this, the convincing part or the whatever we did in this last 1 year, we got one kind of relief that 50% pressure what we are taking before it's a pre-COVID, that we are now rest assured that we can manage our team by sitting at the office only. We can cross check them. So though it's a pandemic situation, so it's bad for everyone. But if you wanted to take it's just for the business, I am saying, just don't take it otherwise. But for the business instance, if we have took some positive things or positive vibes of it, then maybe we can get some kind of the good learnings. We can take the advantage of what happened and we maybe succeed because of this, some implementations and whatever the new adoptions, modern technology and everything in our business.
All
Thanks.
right. Thank you, Mr. Prashant. That was lovely put in. Let me quickly ask Mr. Vikas, and this round over to you, Mr. Vikas.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, very well.
Yeah. So basically, since we were mostly online and our system was sort of, anyways, a lot of people used to sometimes not work in office, would continue working from home. So it wasn't that big a challenge to get them to, sort of work from home. I think the bigger challenge was not in terms of technology, but in terms of the mindset of working from home. A lot of people would disappear in between, or it was difficult to get everybody onto the same page and get into a common meeting, and too many schedules clashing each other. So earlier those did not happen. So you try to schedule a meeting and somebody else would be busy at exactly the same time, because you could not have meetings of 5 minutes, right? So whenever you would schedule minimum half an hour, 1 hour. So slots became very discrete rather than so you could only do a few meetings, because of which, especially senior people, suddenly we found them, they were busy in some meeting or the other all the time. So I think the challenges were more people and scheduling and all, rather than convincing people to work from home. We did not find that as a big challenge. We were mostly online anyways.
All right. Lovely, Mr. Vikas. So, although this entire concept of technology or the work from home, everything seems to be quite fancy, but I think through your opinions and experiences, it is well understood that it also has its own limitations and the drawbacks. Right? So, starting with encouraging or educating the layman about to be tech savvy, or just like how Vikas sir said, the mindset to adopt this technology, or how Mr. Prashant was talking about the challenges he was facing, and even Abhishek, when they all combined and put together, it is well understood that although this work from home is quite fancy, it has its own drawback. Now, one of the biggest process of SME or a business is the process of communication, right? So for any medium scale to large scale companies, it requires a lot of phone calls that has to be done. Maybe a marketing phone call, or attending a client query, or whatsoever it is. So at this juncture, I would like to pull in Mr. Rudra here, so the head of marketing operations from the Tata Tele. So I would like to ask you a question. I would like to understand something from you. So all these SMEs have their own call management system. So unfortunately, not everyone has a tech solution provider like the Tata Telephony. There is still a lot of companies that depend upon the traditional call management system. So I would like to understand from you, Mr. Rudra, what are some of the limitations of the traditional call management system? Over to you.
So Muthu, I would not like to restrict myself on talking very limited or very focused to call management system, but broadly I would like to speak about the advantages of staying ahead of the curve by using technology. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Uddharet Atmanatmanam. It means that please rise to the occasion, please do your own uddhar or your own benefit. Now, having said that, each one of us who's present here or whosoever is listening to this discussion needs to understand that the differentiator between success and failure today is the right use of technology. Now, when I say the right use, you need to have someone who can help you understand what is right or wrong for you. You just did a point on data security. Data security is the first essential element of getting onto a technology platform. People talk of AI and blockchain and other things and big things. I would just like to restrict that at an SME level. Are we using basic technology? One example of data security, which is pretty evident, was recently a food chain manufacturer had a data security breach. He had to shut down operations. A very, very big namkeen joints chain, very well-known name of the country, had to shut down operations for some days, had a lot of loss in terms of non-working, the shutdown part, it impacted them. Then again, they had to get into some discussions with the ransom people, that impacted them. I don't know how it goes. However, it took a lot of time, effort, energy. At the same time, there was a reputation loss also. There was a bank that was recently caught in a cyber security issue. So my point is that we need to familiarize ourselves with technology, safeguard ourselves with technology, and use technology as a differentiator to win this game at this point of adversity. So,
Thank you.
so restricting to call management is a very, very subjective talk. I would not, go to that specific, but broadly, I have shared my views as to how people can win using technology.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Rudra, for bringing that up today. So moving forward, just like how Mr. Rudra had told in the welcome address. So the entire technology had always been in existence, even before the COVID. There had been a technology, maybe a video conferencing app, or any other technology that you are using right now has always been there even before the pandemic. So this COVID had just made us to embrace those technology quicker than it was supposed to be, right? So, for example, if the work from home culture was supposed to come 5 years down the line, we just adopted it very quicker thanks to the COVID. So that is what had happened. And also, one of the biggest, biggest name that popped up during this entire pandemic was Zoom, right? So March 21, the entire country went into lockdown, and March 23, every home in India had a Zoom account, either paid or free. Everyone started to use Zoom. So that is how the technology is embracing the lives of the people in the world. And in terms of business, I would love to understand from you panelists what kind of technology adoption you did to ensure business continuity during the pandemic. I would like to start with Mr. Vikas this time.
Guys, yeah, I think Zoom was an obvious one.
Okay.
I think technology were broadly where we were. What we did was started moving more, and so we were on AWS, and we started moving most of our stuff all onto AWS, our Tally also. So whatever there was hardly anything physical per se, but whatever wasn't started going onto the AWS platform. So yeah, not much change, but I would say, because as I said, we were already mostly on, everything was online. So, and we had no physical servers except for one Tally server. We had nothing physical in-house. So not that much of a problem change there.
Wonderful. So the biggest investment you made with regards to your business was Zoom. That is how I understood from your point. It's good. So moving forward, let me ask Mr. Abhishek about his technology adoption. Mr. Abhishek, are you with us? All right, let me quickly move on to Mr. Vivek.
Yeah. So I must say that, whatever Vikas had said, we are doing the same thing only. We were on, we were discussing on the phones, and then we moved on to Zoom and or Google Meet, and AWS. We have also adopted AWS instead of Zoho actually.
All right. Yeah. Wonderful, Mr. Vivek. Let me hear from Mr. Prashant this time. So kindly unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
We adopted one thing, that's a geotagging. So by that, we come to know by sitting our office that in which area now our operations team is working, right? Like by sitting at our Pune office, we come to know that in which village of Andhra our banana harvesting is going on, right? So this is the one thing. We also know about the, as I said, the geotagging. We knew other thing is that with during the transportation, we can track the where is the container, we can track where is our vehicle, right? And by if you are doing some hard work also, it's obvious thing that maybe directly or indirectly you will get benefited. So we got benefited by one of the thing that there is one schemes of the government of India, that's Operation Green. So in that scheme, whatever we did last year, the same we need to do this year also, is to claim that subsidy or to claim that benefits. So ultimately, we got benefited indirectly, but I would say thanks to these technological forceful implementation of this technology.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Prashant. And I think for a minute that scheme kind of felt kind of very cinematic, Operation Green. So very interesting, and there is a lot of schemes that has been framed by the government of India to help the SMEs, especially during this time. Talking about this interesting stuff about the technology, I would like to again bring in Mr. Rudra at this juncture and understand what are some of the digital strategies that can be deployed to harness simple and cost-effective communication? Over to you, sir.
I would like to give an example here. See, a very, very simple, plain example that I usually share. Technology has got a direct impact on profitability. Let me give you one example. There is a dairy farm owner in Pune who have actually adopted or used an IoT solution. Now, this IoT solution actually helps them about understanding what kind of feed is to be given, what time the feed is to be given, what kind of water, the quantity. All these basic elements are monitored, and these are shared with the owners, and then accordingly they plan their. Having said that, this dairy farm was able to produce twice the milk as they were producing earlier without the IoT solution, with the similar set of assets, the cows. Now, can you believe the power of technology? In today's times, when the situation is not good, someone who's able to double the production without increasing OPEX or CAPEX cost is a very, very, very important. Now, having said that, why did I use a dairy farm example? See, technology adoption is very, very pertinent in IT sector, in ITES sector, in manufacturing sector, in services sector. But someone adopting a technology in a dairy farm is not heard of. The point that I'm trying to bring home here is that, look, someone as not important as a dairy farm is also using technology to enhance production. The people who are in manufacturing, ITES services have got a far better chance of using technology and enhancing their profit. So this is my view. Over to you, Muthu.
Thank you, Mr. Rudra. And going forward, there has been a lot of investments that the companies have made to enable the remote working. Right? Maybe giving your neighbors a computer. Maybe there's been a lot of corporates that has been doing so. Right? So for the laborers who are working from home, they give their own office machines to make sure that it goes without any break and hassle free. So similarly, I would like to understand from you panelists, what were the investments the business made in terms of enabling the remote working at the outset of the pandemic outbreak? So I would like to again start with Mr. Vivek. Over to you.
I'm sorry, Muthu, I missed you in between. What's the question?
So the question was, what kind of investments did the business make to enable the remote working?
No. I am not able to listen to you. What kind of?
So what kind of investments do business make to enable remote working?
Investment, you are saying?
Yes, yes, sir.
No, in our case, there was no investment. So other than, download the Zoom apps only.
All right. All right. So Zoom was a biggest investment to Mr. Vivek. Let me ask with Akash and see if he has got any interesting to answer. Over to Mr. Akash.
So, the investments which we have to do is, is making mindset of people how to work from home. So motivating them is one of the biggest investments which we have to do, because people are, people have an habituality of seeing each other. In terms of, technology, not a lot, but yes, VPN systems and, people monitoring systems and, their, their efficiencies, their coding is going right or not. So yes, this is a kind of monitoring systems which you have to invest, you have to purchase some. But most of it are there with us, but so it's not a lot of investments which is there, but yes, to make people motivated from day to evening on their work, and make them focused and not see what is all going on in there, and helping them obviously when it is tough time for them. So if there is somebody COVID in their family or something like that, so there is an investment which we see which has to go on, but not much in technology, because there's a lot of technology thing which is already there in place.
All right, all right, all right. Thank you, Akash. So we're talking about what kind of investments to the business make to enable the remote working in particular. Let me quickly ask to Mr. Prashant, over to you.
Sir, in our case, there is a 3 type of investment, I would say. First, time. Second, whatever we did efforts to convince them. And third is, no doubt, it's some money. With regards to, if I come to know about money, how is this? Because we, to do everything, we need to give it to them technological inputs like mobiles, systems to someone, and also we need to appoint one person how to deploy that things in their lifestyle or in their working style. So I would say only 3 investment what we did, but that's worth.
All right. All right. Thank you, Mr. Akash. Thank you, Mr. Prashant. That was a great insight. So let me quickly ask to Mr. Abhishek. Abhishek, are you with us? Mr. Abhishek, are you with us, Mr. Abhishek? All right, let me ask Mr. Vikas.
Not much other than, compensating some people for their Wi-Fi connections, or just ensuring that people have Wi-Fi connections and they have additional SIM cards or whatever is required. From a tech standpoint, nothing, no significant change. We were mostly online, so people were anyways comfortable. Everybody had a laptop. We had never taken desktops anyways, so it it wasn't too much of an issue there.
All right, all right. Thank you, Mr. Akash. And I think most of the predominant investments that the business has made was with the video conferencing apps like Zoom, and the otherwise the businesses made investments on the people, right? So they believed on their workforce and they invested a lot on their workforce, along with the technology as well, just like how Akash was talking about, so how he invested on people. So at this juncture, this digital normal, or this entire remote working or moving towards a digital normal, this entire digital network cannot be possible without cloud. Am I right? So cloud plays a very vital role to enabling or hassle-free digital technology. So I would like to invite Mr. Rudra once again and understand from him, how is cloud helping BPOs bring agility into their operations? So over to you.
Not only BPOs, Muthu. BPOs again is a very segmented, view. Cloud is helping everybody, each and every SME who is looking for enhanced productivity. Let me share a few examples. Earlier on, there were organizations who had physical data servers within their location. Few of them faced challenges during the last lockdown period. Few of them had already migrated to cloud, hence they were able to do some operations with their work from home location. During last 6 months, we did see people migrating from a physical data server at their location to cloud, but still, few were still apprehensive. Now, just imagine a scenario. There are people, there are your computers who are in a complete shutdown mode, and then there is someone who has been able to run part of his operations, maybe not fully, but some part of his operations because he has got his server on cloud. Now, that makes the critical difference here. Today, at this point of time, when basic necessities are required, people are looking for healthcare, people are looking for logistics, people are looking for day-to-day food supplies, supply chain. Imagine there if you are able to run your shop. And how can you do it? You can only and only do it if you are on cloud. You cannot operate your organization if you are on a physical server. Because of the lockdown, eventually the server will get locked down, a lot of other operations will get impacted. Hence, moving on to the cloud is now, I would say, not a requirement or an option, but going forward, it will almost become mandatory. And trust me, the people who will follow this, or let's say I always call them as adopters, the early adopters of technology, or maybe a middle adopter of technology. These are the two people who will survive in the market. The late adopters will vanish away from market because market will not give them time to survive. Yesterday, there was a report in some local newspaper that around 2 lakh SMEs are facing a very, very difficult financial situation. They may not be able to run more than 2. Can you believe what will happen? And the ones who have been able to stay ahead using technology have been able to survive this storm. So cloud is a part of technology. Cloud is still optional for everybody, but I feel it's more or less mandatory.
All right.
Over to you, Muthu.
Thank you, Mr. Rudra, for explaining about the importance of cloud and how mandatory it is. And I would like to understand from you, panelists. But before that, I would also like to put forward this. We've been talking about a lot of challenges in the previous rounds. But I think one thing that unites us as an entrepreneur, or one common factor for an entrepreneur, is to think of a solution for a problem, right? So no matter whatever hurdle that comes in front of us, we as an entrepreneur, right from the day one, when we started our business, we always are trained to focus on what is the solution, how to overcome this, right? So this is how we've been trained right from day one. So at this juncture, I'd like to understand from the panelists, what could be an enterprise solution that you would like to have to increase your business productivity? I'd like to start with Mr. Akash. He had a beautiful smile hearing this question. Hopefully he has a beautiful answer. Over to you, Akash.
Yeah, so see, this is as I said earlier, see, it's a lot of please understand, we are from the other side of the table, right? So we are the service provider to many of the organizations. So what we saw during this situation is, things getting rapidly changed at client end. So when things get rapidly changed at client end as a service provider, it changes with more than 200x speed at your end. So if they are at a speed of adopting a lot of solutions or a lot of enterprising things, then you as a service provider have to gear up. So again, our challenge is not in what we are adopting or what changes we are doing. Our challenge is to cope up with the speed of the client and deliver them in the situation where things are not in your comfort zone. So sitting in the office, having 150 plus people working in front of you in one of the office, you know how to manage it. But it's a first time in the history that you have to manage entire workforce when you do not see them. So again, the challenge is, I again say the challenge was not the thing. The challenge was the thing to manage them empower and keep them motivated. So, for us, that is the thing. And yes, we successfully delivered all the things to clients. So, the resultant is always an end, is a good thing for us. And as an entrepreneur, or, as a businessman, it's a huge learning time. So,
True.
जो भी हमने पिछले last, 6, 7, 10 months में जो, whatever we have learned in last 10 months is, I don't think so that this could have been in the learning in coming 5 years or 10 years, and whatever it is. So it's a different ball game now. It's a completely different ball game now. And like Prashant ji ne abhi bola ki he is using some good techniques in his farming. So I'm just amazed. This is where today the things are moving around. So it's not what we are seeing around. It's way beyond now the things which are moving. So this is what my say on the question.
Thank you, Mr. Akash. We'll be hearing from Mr. Prashant.
Now, with regards to challenge, there are challenges, but if we look globally or nationally, or if you can see around, I would say our challenge or our problems are very limited. It's hardly means if for the best entrepreneur, I think there should be challenges every day so that you can learn the good part, right? There are challenges, you need to find the solution. The best entrepreneur is that if you are facing challenge, then you have the ready solutions with you, then that's for you, it's a victory, I would say. So there were challenges, but I enjoyed it.
Wonderful. Right. So can I ask a different question to Mr. Abhishek and Mr. Vivek and Mr. Vikas here? So, there has been a lot of collaboration and the communication that has been happening with the clients, during this pandemic. And there has been a lot of challenges on those two grounds as well. So I would like to ask to you panelists, what are the biggest challenges being faced by the business, specifically in terms of call management, collaboration, and communication with the clients? So I would like to start with Mr. Abhishek.
Yeah. So, Mr. Muthu, previously we used to have clients. I can categorize two sort of clients. One, clients who basically visit the place. They have meetings over coffee and they discuss their problem or goals with us. And then they basically approach them, what sort of solutions they could basically get. And there is some sort of clients who are quite comfortable over call, mails, and Zoom calls or any sort of online communications. So in these things, we lost those sort of clients, almost nearly 60-70%. Those category of clients who basically used to visit the offices. But then again, we found that they are also getting sort of compatibility with online calls and online communications because they are not left with any other options. So initially we had faced these sort of challenges because most of the clients used to visit our offices, any of the offices, whether it's Pune, Bangalore, or Mumbai offices. But later on, we find that even they are coming back and they have adopted the online communications modes and everything. So in initial times, we focused on those sort of clients. Those are quite comfortable availing services completely online. And again, on the execution side as well, we found initially a very challenging thing that every team member had to basically work remotely, who used to work in a team environment. And we just, apart from work, we used to share a lot of things like laughters, lunch, breakfast, and some sort of, out of office things as well. So we started organizing those sort of things as well. We used to have some sort of fun times online, some sort of things where basically gaming activities as well, where basically feel like, we all are living together in the same offices. So initially for a couple of months, let's say 2 months, 3 months, it was something that even team had to basically adopt this sort of work culture. And also our client side, basically, they also had to basically adopt this sort of work culture completely. But this year's again, we hadn't predicted that this 2021 is again going to repeat the same way. But learning from the past and improvising the way we basically work, the cultural things as well, and also the all parts of the operations. So this year's we all are quite comfortable working, And unfortunately, we saved also a lot over the various costs as well, because now as you see that a service company, most of the costs are basically operationals and fixed costs. So
Right.
we are having savings over the office expenditures and various office expenditure offices like internet, Wi-Fi, tea, coffee, stationaries, and various sort of small parties as well. That's basically that's a cost part as well. Even when you don't count, but when we count at the year end, we found that kids goes in lakhs, right? So this was also a added advantage that where we can cut down the the pricing part for our clients as well, so they can basically get this comparatively cheaper as well. At the same time, we ensure that any of our employee or any of our associate partners are getting their remunerations adequately, so that they can basically manage their things.
Correct.
One more thing I would like to add, that we found that when we work together in the office times, we find that we have to work for a certain hours, 8 hours, 7 hours in a daytime. But nowadays we have the goals that anyone in any time they want, if they want to work in the night time, they can work. They want to work in the daytime, early morning time, they can work, except for the meetings where we basically have to be present. So even as a people, we also got a very flexible timeline that when and how basically we approach to any task. So these sort of things,
Sorry, Mr. Abhishek, sorry to interrupt you. I think we are running really out of time. I might have to cut short you here. We come back to you again, but let me quickly move on to Mr. Vivek and Vikas. Just to give you a reminder, we are already at 4, so kindly have your answers very quick. Let's start with Mr. Vikas. Over to you.
Uh, I missed the question. I think there was some network issue. So
Not an issue,
I think
sir.
just pass me. Go ahead with Vivek.
I might ask it to you again. So what are some of the biggest challenges faced by the businesses in terms of call management, collaboration, and connectivity with the clients?
Connectivity with the
Clients.
so yeah, during the pandemic, so what happened was, I think all the physical meetings got cancelled, and we have realized, all said and done, you need physical meetings with our lenders, our partners and all. No deals really get closed over over phones and over Zoom calls. So while there were a lot of Zoom calls and all done, but people were like, wait and watch till we physically meet once at least. So a lot of delays because of that.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Vikas. Let me hear it last from Mr. Vivek. Sir, please unmute yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Now, in our case, we face a lot of problems in servicing the vehicles, because servicing of the vehicle cannot be done online. So if we are facing, the customer is facing any kind of problems, we need to send across the persons or mechanics over there at their homes or at their convenient places, because all the offices were closed, people were at home, and even our showrooms were also closed. So in that case, we were in a huge, there was a huge responsibility, but at the same time, we could not help ourselves by helping those guys also. We were not able to send across people to their particular homes. We ultimately took some time from them, and then when the pandemic was over, or when the lockdown was over, then only we were able to send across the mechanics to each and everybody's home. So it was a major challenge for us to convince those people for not having the people sending to their home. So that was the kind of stuff we were not able to, people don't understand. They were saying they were sitting at their home, but at the same time they were looking at us to send across the people to their home. So it was a mixture kind of stuff where we were getting irritated also that people don't understand this, but ultimately we have to manage this kind of stuff also. So this was the major challenge what we faced in this lockdown period.
All right. So yes, as you was telling about, a service cannot be done online.
Right.
Vehicle, obviously. So there are a lot of challenges that are very industry specific. And with that, we come to the closure of today's panel discussion. Although it is we went a little ahead of the time, so we were supposed to close by 4, whereas 5 past 4. But I have to say one thing here. I really got a lot of information about how different industries are coping up with the pandemic. I think I can name Mr. Prashant, for instance, about how he is into the farming vertical and how he is overcoming the pandemic and coping up with it. And again, Vivek sir, how he is running into the EVs and the charging port, and Abhishek and Akash, and again Vikas as well. So I had a lovely time with all the lovely panelists who joined with us. But before we end today's session, I would like to call upon Mr. Rudra for a short closing thoughts for today's session. Over to you. Rudra sir, are you with us? Rudra sir, are you with us? Yeah.
Yeah, Muthu.
Yes.
Well, I think so. The closing note, I would just like to say that as panelists, we've been able to cover up most of the points. And one simple message at this point of time, which I have, consistently focused on, would be that technology adoption and technology relevance would be the game changer for anybody who wants to stay ahead of the curve and win in this kind of adverse situation. So that's it from my end. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Rudra, and thank you, lovely panelists who joined us. For the last 60 minutes, you've been sharing all your thoughts and your experiences. I had a lovely time with all of you, and I hope once this session is out on YouTube, I hope all the viewers who is going to see this definitely get a good experience and a learning out of this session to implement in their business. And on behalf of the talk, we wish you all the best in the days to come with regards to your business. And until next time, in yet another interesting episode of CEO Talk, this is me, Muthu, signing off. Have a great week ahead, guys. Thank you so much.